Rosick, what kind of a reader were you before this class?
I wasn't a reader at all.
What would you do when you were assigned books then?
Go on websites and look at the summaries of the books.
Did you ever pick up a book for pleasure?
No.
Mael, what kind of a reader were you before this class started?
Before English 3 with Mr. Buck, I was not an active reader at all. The only books I did read were the ones that were assigned to me, but I didn't really read those books at all either.
Emily, what kind of a reader were you like before?
In the past, I would never read, and I couldn't finish a book cover to cover, beginning to end, without skimming it or skipping through at least 10 pages at once. I would just go right through the book in a day, and I just wouldn't finish the book at all. I wouldn't be able to pay attention to the book because the teacher would choose it, and now it's way easier for me.
Before this class started, I didn't read very often. In school before, I would try to avoid reading, try to get out of reading the books that were due.
What kind of a reader are you now?
I like reading now, and I've read more than I've ever read before.
How much is that?
Like a couple hundred pages a week. It's
How
like
many books have you finished in 5 weeks?
2.
And what kind of a reader are you now?
I am a much more active reader now with Mr. Buck, since I get to choose most of the books I want to read and that I find more interesting.
How many books have you read so far in the last 5 weeks?
I read 6 books.
How's it easier?
I get to choose my own book, something that I like to read, something that I feel comfortable reading, that I actually like. I'm able to finish it beginning to end now, cover to cover, and I've read 11 books since then. Before, I didn't even finish one book.
And when the school year started, I started reading a little bit, and probably about 50 to 60 pages a week. But then my teacher, Mr. Buck, suggested one book to me called The Maze Runner. And the first week I read about 50 pages, but then I started getting really into it. And last week, when I started getting into it, I read 740 pages because I finished the first couple books in the series, and now I'm really into it. Like, I try to find a lot of free time to get my reading in, because I enjoy books a lot more. Like, I really appreciate what reading can do. And this week I've already read 500 pages, and I started a new series. So yeah, I'm getting excited for it. I'm trying to beat last week 740 pages. Hopefully I can get it done. Yep.